Hey everyone, welcome to That's Good Denver. I'm your host, Chris Romeo. And today I'll be doing the 2022-23 NFL playoff predictions for the playoffs that start this Saturday. Um, there's some good games to look forward to, I guess. The wild card weekend, there should be some better games to look forward to in the divisional round and AFC Championship, especially if the Bills get a rematch with the Chiefs. There will be a lot in stake for that game. It's kind of an unfortunate end of the season with the Damar Hamlin situation and that Bills Bengals game getting postponed or getting canceled, I should say. That kind of made the seating weird, but at least Damar Hamlin is okay and he's out of the hospital and he's back in Buffalo. And I hope all you guys like my breakdown of the Broncos season at disappointing 5-12 in the last video. Um, and I'm not supporting my Broncos gear in this video, but I am supporting the Nuggets. They're still number one in the West. They're on a 4-game winning streak, 28-13. They beat the Suns, who had a bunch of injuries last night, but they're tied with the Memphis Grizzlies for number one seed. We're number one. Memphis is number two. We're both 28-13, but we got the tiebreaker over them. So there's still a long season to go, about halfway there in the NBA season, but Nuggets are looking pretty good right now. They're getting a lot of help around Jokic and stuff. But anyway, I'll talk about the Nuggets more in another video. And let's get going with these predictions. So starting off with the AFC side, you got the Dolphins heading into Buffalo, take on the Bills. Tua Tagovailoa won't be playing in this game. So that Skylar Thompson will be the starter for the Dolphins, and because of that, the Bills are an all-around better team. I think even with Tua, Bills win this game. These teams split when they played each other in the regular season. So I have the Bills winning this game in a blowout. Final score, I have Buffalo winning 34-14. I think the Bills' defense will be able to shut down Skylar Thompson in that offense. He might get it to Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill a little bit, but it won't be enough. And the Bills have too much firepower on offense, and they've been looking really good lately. So I'm taking the Bills to move on to the divisional round. Next up, you got the Ravens taking on the Bengals in Cincinnati. This is actually just a rematch from last week. These teams just played each other in Cincinnati, and is Lamar Jackson gonna be playing in this game? I have no clue. He hasn't played in like 3 weeks, and they're gonna need him for this game. If Lamar Jackson was playing in this game, I think this would be a dogfight. It'd be a great high-scoring game. Either way, even with Lamar Jackson playing, the Bengals are at home and they have a better offense than the Ravens, so I'm taking the Bengals in this one. We'll say Lamar Jackson does play for the playoffs, which I think he will. But the final score, I have the Bengals winning this one and a high-scoring one, 37-30. And they will advance on to the divisional round to take on the Bills. So I'll put Bengals at Bills, which they'll get their rematch from the Damar Hamlin. Hopefully nothing bad happens with the player. Next up, we got the Chargers taking on the Jaguars in Jacksonville. What a year by the Jaguars. With a Cinderella ending, they start off, they're 3-8 at one point, looking out of it and stuff. Then Trevor Lawrence, that defense has played out of its mind the last 6 weeks to win that division as the Titans collapse at the end of the year. The Chargers, they've had a season about expected. I expected them to be they're 10-7. They got the number 5 seed, which I kind of expected them to get the 5 seed going into this year. But I expected them to get a few more wins, like maybe 11 or 12 wins. But they still had a very solid year. And, they're going to the playoffs, not looking too bad at all. This game could go either way, definitely. Who I have winning, I'm going to give the edge to the Chargers here. I just think they're a little more better all around. Both teams are really good all around, but I have the Chargers winning this one 23-20 in a tight, contested game that's going to come all the way down to the wire. I just think that Justin Herbert has a little more in him than Trevor Lawrence. Not saying Trevor Lawrence can't get it done, but I think the Chargers, it makes more sense that they would win this game. And they will move on to the divisional round to play the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, but before we go to there, we're going to go to the NFC wildcard side. We got the Seahawks at 49ers. No offense to the Seahawks, but this is probably like the worst game of the weekend. Or actually, maybe the Dolphins and Bills. It's either this game or the Dolphins and Bills because Tua Tagovailoa isn't playing. But the Seahawks, they got into the playoffs. Geno Smith has had a great year, and they won the Russell Wilson trade from the Broncos, unfortunately. Meanwhile, the 49ers are looking very good right now. They're looking very strong. I think they can make another push to the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy has played very good for them. Their run game is very solid. The big question is, can Brock Purdy and the 49ers take them far in the playoffs? I don't think they'll have any issues with Seattle, though. So I have the 49ers winning this one. Final score of San Francisco winning this one 31-13. 31-13, the final, and they'll advance to the divisional round. Next up, you got the Giants at the Vikings. I spelt Vikings wrong because there's no C. But anyway, the Giants, they've had a very surprising year. They've had a very good year. Surprised a lot of teams by getting into the playoffs. This is actually a rematch from earlier this year. Obviously, Seahawks and 49ers and Ravens and Bengals. And the Chargers and Jaguars is a rematch. This is another rematch. They both played in Minnesota. Vikings won that game. And I think the Vikings will win this game. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants pull off an upset because I think the Vikings are kind of fraud. I don't think they should have been that good this year. They ended up winning like 13 games, a lot of close games. I think this will be a close game too, but I have Minnesota winning this one. Final score, I have Vikings winning this one 24-17. And I think it will be a game that comes down to the wire, but I think Kirk Cousins will have a little bit better of a day than Daniel Jones, and I think Daniel Jones will turn the ball over and, since this is his first ever playoff game. Next up, you got the Cowboys at Bucks, rematch of Week 1 when these two teams met in Dallas. And this is going to be a great game. This might be the best game of the weekend. Cowboys, they look pretty strong going to the playoffs, beating the Eagles at home, but then they had a pretty bad loss last week to Washington, who, their season was over. The Buccaneers, they got kind of lucky. Tom Brady got lucky again, and he got in the playoffs, only 8-9 to win the division. Most people will take Dallas to win this game because they've had a better all-around team, better all-around year. But I'm taking the Bucks here, unfortunately. I hope I'm wrong. But I got to take the Bucks to win this one. Final score, if I can write and videotape at the same time. Final score, I have Buccaneers winning this one. Sorry, I have the Bucks winning this one 27-24. I think it'll be a great game coming down to the wire. Sorry, I can't write and videotape at the same time. It's hard. The Bucks winning 27-24, and they will move on to the divisional round. They'll take on the Eagles, who are the 1 seed. And then that would mean the Vikings would head into San Francisco to take on the 49ers in the divisional round. There's that for you. And yeah, it's crazy that that's going to be a rematch because in the same division, that'll be a rematch. That'll be a rematch from Week 3 when the Jags killed the Chargers. That'll be a rematch. They played each other twice. That will be a rematch. Vikings won earlier, and Bucks will, they'll beat the Cowboys the second time this year because they played each other in Week 1. Moving on the divisional round, we got the Chargers heading to Arrowhead, take on the Chiefs. Chiefs swept the Chargers this year. And the Chiefs have had a very good regular season. Mahomes has bounced back and looked very well after losing Tyreek Hill. And I think this will be a great game, high scoring. But I have the Chiefs winning this game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers maybe pulled off an upset because, they've had Super Bowl expectations going into this year, but I have the Chiefs winning this one on a game-winning field goal. Final score 34-31 to send the Chiefs to the AFC Championship game. Next up, you got the Cincinnati Bengals heading to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Hopefully when these two teams play, nobody will have cardiac arrest and have to go to the hospital. So I think this will be a great high-scoring game. I would not be surprised if the Bengals pull off an upset and made another Super Bowl run with Joe Burrow. But I think the Bills are an all-around better team, and they're at home, so that's why I'm taking Buffalo to win this game. Final score, I have the Bills winning this one 34-27. I think they'll win it by a touchdown, and this will be a game that will come down to the wire, and there will be a lot of fireworks and high scoring in this game. And that will send the Bills to the AFC Championship game where they get a rematch with the Kansas City Chiefs. That will be very fun to watch. Before we get to that great game, we got the Bucs heading to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. This is honestly a tough game to predict. The Eagles have had a better year by far. Jalen Hurts, MVP candidate, A.J. Brown, all that. But the Bucs, it's playoff Tom Brady, and he's always tough to beat in the playoffs. This could definitely go either way, and this is going to surprise a lot of people, but I'm taking the upset here. Unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm taking the Bucs to win this game. Final score, I have the Tampa Bay winning this one 30-24. I think Tom Brady will have another great game. It's playoff Tom Brady, and they're going to pull off the upset to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, which will send the Buccaneers back to the NFC Championship game. Next up, you got the Vikings taking on the 49ers in San Francisco. Kirk Cousins, the Vikings, they've had a strong year, but they're heading to San Francisco to take on a very good 49ers team. This could go either way, I guess. I think the 49ers win this game, and I don't think it's going to be that close. I think the Vikings, they've gotten blown out to some really good teams like the Cowboys and Packers, and, they're a good team, but they're not really ready for the playoffs. Kirk Cousins hasn't been in the playoffs in a couple years, so I expect San Francisco to steamroll the Vikings here. Final score, I have 49ers winning this one 34-17. And that'll send the 49ers to the NFC Championship game. Well, they will host the Buccaneers at home. Next up, you got the Bills taking on the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. I was about to say Arrowhead, but this would actually be played at a neutral site in Atlanta, I think, if the Bills and Chiefs were to play in the AFC Championship game due to the Damar Hamlin thing and the Bills-Bengals game getting canceled. So this will be a rematch from the great playoff game last year. I think it will be another fantastic game like that, back and forth scoring. There won't be really a home field advantage due to it being on a neutral site. But the Bills have been my Super Bowl take all year, and I'm sticking with that. That's why I'm taking Buffalo. I think the Chiefs' defense is a little softer than the Bills, and the Bills have a stronger defense. So that's why I'm taking the Bills to win. I think this will be a great game. Of Buffalo winning this game by a final score of 38-34, and a game that will go back and forth down to the wire, and that will send the Bills to their first ever Super Bowl since the 90s. Good grief. And that will send the Bills to their first ever Super Bowl since the 90s. Before we get to that, who will play the Bills in the Super Bowl? The NFC Championship between the Buccaneers and the 49ers. Tom Brady taking on Brock Purdy in the playoffs. playoff wise, I mean, everyone would take the Bucks to win this game, right? I mean, yeah, the 49ers, they've had a better year all around. Their run game is really good. Um, Most people would take Tom Brady and the Bucks to win this one, but since San Francisco just has such a good all-around team, such a good run game, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks won this one. And Tom Brady, he's getting old. Father times have caught up to him. I'm taking San Francisco to win this game. Won't be the highest scoring game, but I think it'll be a low scoring game, a lot of running the football. I have 49ers winning this one 20-17, and they'll go back to the Super Bowl for the first time since they played the Chiefs. So I have Bills 49ers in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 57 in Glendale, Arizona. The Buffalo Bills, can they win the Super Bowl after losing 4 straight from the 90s? Can the 49ers win their 6th Super Bowl to tie the Patriots and the Steelers? They've had a lot of success with the Super Bowl, with 5 of them already. Brock Purdy heading into the Super Bowl, he's going to be very nervous. They got a great run game. The Bills, they have a great all-around team. Von Miller, if he comes back. Tre'Davion White. Their offense is stacked with Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and an okay run game. The Bills have been my Super Bowl pick since the start of the year, and I'm still rolling with that. That's why I'm taking Buffalo. I think this will be a great game to watch. But I'm taking Buffalo to win this game. Final score, what should the final score thing be? I'm taking Bills to win this one. Final score 35 to 31. I'm taking Buffalo in a high-scoring game. A lot of touchdowns being scored. A lot of rushing touchdowns. And the Buffalo Bills, I have winning the Super Bowl this year. Their first ever, and that'll be a great way for the Bills to win it. Not only because of the Damar Hamlin situation, but it would be from losing 4 straight. The Bills have been through a lot of heartbreak, losing 4 straight in the 90s and not really being relevant over the last 15 to 20 years until now with Josh Allen. Now, Bills winning the Super Bowl. My MVP of the Super Bowl is Josh Allen. I think he's going to have a 3 to 4, maybe even 5 touchdown pass game, maybe more like 4. But yeah, I have the Bills winning it all this year. Yeah, that's my prediction for the playoffs this year. I feel pretty good about the bracket, so I think I should bet some money with my friends at Bethel, $5, or win some money if it's good enough. But who do you guys have winning the Super Bowl and winning the NFL playoffs, including this weekend, and so on and so forth? Let me know in the comments down below. Like, subscribe, comment. And yeah, those Nuggets, they're looking pretty dang good. Jamal Murray coming back healthy, looking very good. Michael Porter Jr. is playing good. Bones Highland's starting to get it going after a slow start. And Aaron Gordon and Jokic are, killing it in the paint. But yeah, basketball's been fun to watch. The playoffs should be very fun to watch this year. And yeah, like, subscribe, comment. Enjoy the playoffs, everybody. I'm Chris Romeo, and that's good Denver. Go Nuggets. Go Nuggets, by the way.